at 1 p.m. FCT resident laments non-availability of new Naira notes, appeal for extension of transition from old to new. Non-governmental organization to empower more than 100 women in the FCT on vocational skills. And Rotary Club awards scholarship to selected students in Buhari. To NTA Channel 5 News at 1. I am Miriam Emeka-Amadi. FCT residents are appealing for an extension on the deadline issued for the new Naira notes usage. They hinge their appeal on the non-availability of the new notes, which is generally becoming an issue in the society as some commercial taxi operators, markets and churches have stopped collecting old notes. We bring you the story in a subsequent bulletin. Needs and wants of man are basic irrespective of social status and source of livelihood. The concern, however, is the ability to meet the contending needs in difficult financial times with no bank savings. Safia Noma Uche in this report seeks the view of Nigerians on saving culture.
Necessities of life mostly meet many people unprepared. For instance, the birth of a child, children's school fees, house rent, or death of a loved one, just to mention a few. Most people are seen or heard lamenting when these needs arise. Economists say it is important for people to imbibe the culture of saving for emergencies or rainy day. Research shows that Nigerians have a bad saving culture, hence the drama that plays out at various emergencies and urgent needs.
What we see within our culture is that people are not disciplined enough. People are not disciplined. Every money goes for social engagement. Every money goes for frugality. It's not so. You must know what to do as, more especially head of a home or family, you need to know your priorities right and then put it so that when there are medical emergencies, school fees, you don't start running to people and saying, look, help me with my child's school fees, as if you are not informed that in 3 months you have to pay another one.
Economists, however, advise that children should be taught how to save. When they grow, it will be a habit, since it is fundamental to save. But how can people save money in this present economy?
For us, we don't have the same income. If you are not capable of taking your child to a private school, put the child in a public school. It is necessary for us to adopt a system that I got from my father and I want to share. And from onset is that there are 3 types of expenditure. One, if you get like 10 naira, you should take 30% of it and keep for capital costs. 30% you give to your wife to take care of needs. 30% of that amount of money you save. And then 10% you can use it for social engagements.
It's not easy. I don't have money to save. It's not enough for me.
You have to forfeit some certain things so that you can save, especially wants. We will have wants and we will have needs. All those wants have to forfeit them and go for your needs. Needs is very important, like food, hospital, bills. That's our needs. But wants can be clothing, shoes, and others. You can see something now, or we like that working in the government, you go on buying on credit. At the end of the day, you cannot save. But when you stop buying on credit, you can easily save.
When you save today, by tomorrow, I think you can make use of it to take care of your family. And that's why it's very important to save today against tomorrow.
Although the Nigerian economy is facing a downturn and subsequent inflation, it also becomes imperative, however, to save and avoid embarrassment that comes with non-payment of bills. Safia Noma Uche, NTA News.
And back to the report on the rush for redesigned Naira note, where the FCT residents are appealing for extension on the deadline issued for new Naira notes. Sefia Norma Uche again reports.
As early as 6 o'clock Friday morning, some residents were already on queue for the new Naira notes at various commercial banks. While some banks are dispensing the new notes, others are still dispensing the old notes.
I've been to several banks this morning. Even the bank that I'm using, which is the Zenith Bank, I told them, how you people frustrating me? I cannot get access to my cash.
I've been roaming around since morning. All of them, they said they will put money by 8 o'clock. Money was not there.
And the bank has been paying you money since last 2 weeks. This Union Bank has been
Some people are here since 6 o'clock. They have not gotten money. No new money. And some villagers have not gotten the money.
They said that we can't withdraw. Let's ATM. Look the ATM. Freedom. We can't withdraw. I'm stranded now. So I don't understand what is happening.
Many argued that the population of Nigeria deserves more time for the transition to the new notes.
They are telling us, the customers, that they have money, whereas you go to the bank, there is no money.
Some POS vendors say they are yet to receive the new notes and people are still collecting the old notes from them. Same report also at the market visited.
I have no option because I want to spend my money. I don't know. For now, all that I have transacted with, they've collected.
While some banks were hostile to the media, disallowing coverage of the agitated residents on the queue on their premises, some banks say they are open to collect the new notes. Sefia Uche, NTA News.
Many thanks, Sefia, and now to political story. As the PVC distribution exercise gets closer to wrap up, FCT residents are having mixed feelings. Aisha Obali, who visited one of the internally displaced persons camp in the FCT, reports that many of the IDPs may likely miss the opportunity to exercise their franchise in the February elections.
This is a settlement harboring a huge number of eligible voters. What beckons you most time in the camp are young men in clusters trying to keep themselves busy. One thing is obvious, that many of them here have not collected their PVC, but for a little sacrifice, some others got their PVCs at different locations.
A voter's card. So we have many people say they did not get the voter's card, but actually they have captured. They say until you go to Maiduguri before you get the voter's card.
When the PVC was ready, I went to Garki Primary School, but there was no problem in collecting it.
For many Nigerians, having the PVC means a lot. After months of persistence, Fortune Kenneth eventually gets his PVC. Likewise, my cameraman, Abdulrahman, who was among the lucky ones to get his.
Since that 21st of August 2021, I had been going to INEC without seeing my card. But I thank God that today, finally, I have seen my card. It is real.
But for Paul, his story is different.
I went to Garadima there, they directed me that I should come here. While reaching here, they said that they will send for the printer. I couldn't find my ID card and my PVC. So the experience is not funny. The proper information is not being given. The system is disorganized.
Officials of the FCT Independent National Electoral Commission were not available to speak to NTA Abuja. In Abuja, Aisha Ubali, NTA News.
The Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, in collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, has advocated establishment of Nigerian Medical Research Council to provide efficient and effective healthcare delivery. This is to further improve on the global health systems to battle the pandemics ravaging the world. Mariam George Jitobo has details.
Across the world, healthcare is shifting towards integrated and value-based care. This fundamental change has led to the design and implementation of improved models of care that focus on preventive care. To support these, leading health systems are putting a stronger focus on health research and innovation with the expectation of generating improved evidence-based therapies. Hence, this stakeholders meeting is targeted at improving healthcare services in line with global best practices. Director General, Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, NIMR, Professor Babatunde Salako says the establishment of a medical research council in Nigeria and with adequate funding, healthcare delivery in the country will be top-notch.
Time has come for Nigeria to create its own medical research council that will be responsible for funding health research in Nigeria so that we can also benefit from the benefit of the MRC that we see all over the world.
Some stakeholders also agree that with the needed funding, health sector in Nigeria will receive the needed boost as obtained in other countries of the world.
So to date, most funding in research in this country comes not in a very structured way, but through allocations to particular institutes and government departments. What this proposal would do is ensure that we're able to get a dedicated source of funding that would identify the best science, the best things that would add value to people's lives in health.
Studies reveal that health research is a core driver of innovation and continuous improvement, extending from scientific discoveries expected from basic research up to the study of new approaches to drive better outcomes in applied and system research. Mariam George, Jitubo, NTA News.
Our humanitarian organization Helpline Foundation for the Needy, Abuja, says arrangements have been concluded to train more than 100 women in the Batch B of her Traditional Skills Transfer Initiative. Onoze Yakubu tells us more.
Project Manager Helpline Foundation for the Needy Abuja, Onoja Arome, says the Batch B Economic Empowerment on Traditional Skill Transfer, organized by the foundation, is with the support from the MacArthur Foundation through Resource Center for Human Rights and Civic Education. He disclosed that the skill acquisition training has empowered the original inhabitants of the FCT to be self-reliant.
What we are trying to do also is to see how the cultural heritage that has gone on extinction or has been endangered is brought back to life by several programs which we have been doing. We've handled socioeconomic programs, we've handled cultural programs that has given a good view of this project, and we have remarkable deliverables that we have achieved over the years.
In 2022, the foundation trained 81 participants and empowered them financially to kickstart and own their businesses of producing traditional attires.
We're looking at over 100 participants in this Batch B, and I'm hoping to graduate them by April.
These wrappers, it comes in set, a big wrapper and 2 hair tie, and she sold it for 15,000, which makes her very independent of herself. She uses it as a source of livelihood.
The project manager, who represented President of Helpline Foundation, Jumai Amadou, asked that the foundation is addressing the economic challenges bedeviling the indigenous people of the FCT. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Empowering women through basic skills acquisition in small-scale enterprise is an economic driver that must take firm root for any society to rapidly develop. Aisha Bashir reports that this is the fallout from the activities of tomorrow's development.
Time is money, and instead of wasting it, the Women Development Empowerment Organization brought together this women group to be trained with a view to turning around fortunes.
A good number of them has learned so much here today on how they can prepare some pastries and make it a commercial quantity, something that they will be using to feed themselves and fend for their family.
We teach them how to make puff-puff, egg roll, donuts, and then we still empower them with some things like wrapper and some token.
Armed with these skills, it is hoped that many will excel in business and grow their communities.
It has been organizing women, widows, and less privileged, taking good care of us. This is my women. I'm their coordinator. So she has been doing this sometimes two times in a year, sometimes 3 times in a year. She has been going around in FCT, helping women, even in her own state.
It's not a good idea for a woman to be sitting at home
latest skills in Abuja remains unknown.
Conceived with the intent to ease the flow of traffic in the nation's capital.
Whichever way it turns out, either to consolidate on the existing mandate or institute a new dispensation.
Located within the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC.
How much do people know about ADR? Are charting a path to having more youth participate in governance, in addition to building young entrepreneurs.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory are calling on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, look into the situation.
You have to strike a balance to have a future that you don't have to regret.
Like experts say, what kills really is fear.
In Abuja,
Onoziaku,
NTA News.
Thanks for staying with us. The Rotary Club of Abuja Buhari, in association with the Rotary Club of Abuja Asogov, has awarded scholarship to selected students of Government Day Secondary School Buhari, Abuja. Aisha Abdullahi reports.
Students of Government Day Secondary School Buhari could not hide their excitement as 10 indigenous students were awarded scholarship alongside career chalk, putting into consideration their worth. The students expressed joy while the principal of the school appreciated the Rotary Club of Abuja in Buhari for their continuous support.
I don't know, I didn't expect this. As I was in my class when they called me out. So
I'm happy, like today is my best day ever because I'm not expecting it.
Here, our students, most of them are really indigent. 70% of our students are from poor background. So coming to assist them, I'm really overjoyed.
The event was graced by representatives of Buhari Area Council Chairman and Rotary Club Abuja Asogov. The President Rotary Club of Abuja Buhari, Yahya Adeleke, says leaders of tomorrow need to be nurtured. Education is one of the vital keys to achieving various goals.
Encouraging the needy among the students, because it will be surprising to hear that as low as 5,000 naira that government says they should be paying, some people are still struggling to do that, and because of that they may not come to school. So they are the ones that we targeted to encourage, to keep them in school so that they can become something better in life.
To remind students what being purposeful and trying to be in school is all about, and the idea of being professional at the end of the day.
Rotary Club, as a non-governmental organization, has continued to perform its corporate social responsibilities by donating to the society in different ways. Aisha Abdullahi, NTA News.
E-learning has made studying easy and gives teachers and students more access to material. This informed the training of teachers on Wikimedia education on how to use Wikipedia and other online educational platforms to make learning more interesting. Wayne Dogo reports.
Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom is a program organized by the Wikimedia Foundation to help teachers train students to be digital compliant with reference to information selection, accessibility, and usage. This is expected to make them more versatile and also make classroom learning more interactive. 70 teachers from the FCT and Nasarawa State will be trained in the effective use of e-learning facilities, especially the Wikipedia educational and information platform, the knowledge which is to be transmitted to students.
Reading in Wikipedia in classroom is really a welcome idea because it will enable our teachers and even the students to learn more skills in editing content and all that.
The world has changed. The classroom setting has changed from normal classroom to digital and open education. So Wikipedia is championing the system of open education.
Representing the Minister of Education is the Assistant Director of Basic Education. Mr. Afowowe Olugbolahan says the initiative by the Wikimedia Education will also spur the Ministry of Education to look into the nation's curriculum and put some of the innovations to enhance learning in the FCT and the country as a whole.
If our teachers are empowered digitally, they will now be able to teach
okay, and expand the scope of teaching in the classroom, because they'll be exposed to digital tools, and they'll be able to now teach and create atmosphere where learners, that is teachers, students, can now be empowered when it comes to digital literacy.
More countries are keen into the e-learning platform because of its easy access to information and knowledge. Wayne Dogo, NTA News.
Let's join Aisha Obali on Business News.
CBN appeals to Nigerians to visit POS agents and avoid bank queues. CBN bans dollar charges on domestic transactions. Plus, Pengerton urges FG to restore vandalized pipelines, prosecute oil thieves. Many thanks for joining us on Business News. I am Aisha Obali. Central Bank of Nigeria has appealed to Nigerians to visit POS agents and avoid bank queues ahead of the January 31st, 2023 deadline for the circulation of old 200, 500 and 1,000 notes. The Central Bank of Nigeria has urged bank customers to not panic. CBN's Director of Internal Audit Department, Lydia Alpha, while speaking in Yola, the Adamawa State, urged depositors to patronize bank agents and point-of-sale operators instead of waiting in long queues at bank premises. And the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has launched the Nigerian National Domestic Card Scheme called Afrigo. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, who launched the card on Thursday, said that transaction charges on all cards would henceforth be paid in Naira except for international transactions. Emefiele noted that Afrigo would be cheaper and will be a matter of national pride with the potential to boost financial inclusion. The federal government plans to spend 1.2 trillion naira on servicing the loans it took from the Central Bank of Nigeria through the Ways and Means advances. The 2023 fiscal framework document obtained and made available to journalists shows that the federal government allocated 6.31 trillion naira to service its total debts. A breakdown shows that the federal government allocated approximately 3.3 trillion naira to service domestic debt, 1.81 trillion naira for foreign debt, and 1.2 trillion naira for Ways and Means. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengerton, has called on the federal government to ensure it is against vandalism of the nation's pipelines for increased crude oil production. Pengerton also demands that all those arrested in connection with economic sabotage of pipeline vandalism should be prosecuted and, if found guilty, be made to face the consequences. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has lauded the provision of $538.05 million by the African Development Bank, the Islamic Development Bank, and the International Fund for Agricultural Development for the first phase of the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones for Nigeria program in Senegal. This was as he urged his counterparts to allocate at least 10% of their nation's budget to agriculture as agreed in the Malabo Declaration of the African Heads of State and Government. Piwe community is one among the communities in the Abuja Municipal Area Council, which does not only need good roads, water and schools, but also needs awareness on the newly redesigned Naira notes. Aisha Abdullahi, who was at the community, reports that most of the residents are not ready for the new developments.
Following the January 31st deadline for the use of old Naira currency, residents of Piwe community lament lack of access to the newly redesigned notes.
So 50,000 Naira, oh, old Naira notes, oh, ask them to give me new Naira notes, they say you don't have.
It's not circulating. This community is not circulating at all. It's still the old one. If you go for POS to common money, that's the old one they normally give you.
Residents who claim to have seen and used the new Naira note say it is scarce in circulation and difficult to access either at the counter point, in the automated teller machines, ATM, or with point of sale agents, POS.
The new Naira notes, where is it? We have not seen it now. I was even in the bank yesterday to withdraw money, but they say they don't have it across the counter.
So you hardly get the new note. Maybe in 50,000, 20,000, you get like 3 to 4 new notes.
Don't plenty. Even for my hand this morning, you get like 150 something. The new one is saying then 7,500 naira. The bank is saying you don't see the new one, all the 150. They say now 40,000 you can be collect for the bank.
While in high spirits, residents of Piwen community are hopeful that the federal government will ensure the availability of the new Naira notes at the grassroots before the deadline and also appeal for extension of the dates. Aisha Abdullahi, NTA News.
That's the much we can take. Stay tuned for the continuation of the news. Thanks for watching.
And sports now. Let's join Gideon Yohana for Sports Brief.
Some of the invited players to camp by head coach Randy Waldrum ahead of the February 15 to 21st, 2023 Revelation Cup tournament to be staged in Leon, Mexico City, to include captain of the team Onome Ebi and prolific striker Azizado Shuola of Barcelona Femení, goal stopper Chiamaka Nnadozie, with Rashida Ajibade all-inclusive amongst others. The competition is to prepare selected teams ahead of the 9th FIFA Women's World Cup finals in Australia and New Zealand this summer. The Super Falcons are expected to face Mexico, Colombia, and host Costa Rica. Meanwhile, Nigeria Football Federation and Football Association of Zambia have again come to a concord to postpone the double-header friendly of their under-20 side due to traveling Hajj. The friendly will now be played on February 3rd with a return leg on 6th February. This is prior to the initial 27 January date, all geared towards preparing for the 2023 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt. More so, Karim Benzema and Brazilian starlet Vinicius Jr. scored at extra time to secure a 3-1 win against rivals Atletico de Madrid to book a spot in Copa del Rey finals. To tennis, Stefano Tsitsipas expressed joy following his win against Russian Karen in the Australian Open to book a final spot against Melbourne